So my husband's a hockey coach, and years earlier in our relationship, when things were really bad, he was, playing hockey for many of those years, and then he was, coaching hockey. But throughout that time, whenever we were driving to hockey or back home from hockey, there was an uncomfortable, stressful silence. We weren't really allowed to talk there, and we weren't really allowed to talk on the way home because my husband was either prepping his mind for hockey on the way there or, rethinking the game on the way home. And so hockey was no longer, it was never a thing that I felt like we were doing together. I felt like it was his thing and I was coming along for the ride. And so we had a lot of hockey fights. Let's just say that. You know what I'm talking about, like the hockey fights. So it's years later, and my husband is still a coach, but he now coaches at a higher level. And so, we've gone through some really great trainings on how to communicate around these topics. So it's been really good until the other day. And we get into the car, and I drive so that he can prepare his lineups and start like preparing for the game. And we pick up an assistant coach, his assistant coach, and the assistant coach and I are having a great conversation. And we're driving; it's about a 30-minute drive, and we're having a great conversation. But my husband, he got back into that stressful energy, that default that he had from years ago. And he started being snappy and rude in the car ride. And I could have confronted him. I could have snapped back, and I could have also held it in and felt, passive aggressive and felt like a victim. But I dropped them off at the game and left. And when I picked them up, I actually picked up some pizzas and some drinks because I knew they were going to be hungry. We had a nice ride home. We had pizza. Everything was good. We dropped off the assistant coach. And then I said to him, the way you treated me in the car on the way there and how you spoke to me, I found incredibly offensive. Now, I'm good with me. I am empowered and I am good with me. And so I'm not a victim in the situation, but I want you to know that I didn't appreciate it. And to be honest, I feel like I'm almost embarrassed for you because you treated me so poorly in front of your assistant coach who really values your opinion and your reputation. And you just showed him a really poor side of yourself. And the reason I brought this to his attention is because he's expressed to me that's not who he wants to be anymore. And he acknowledged, you know what? Yeah, I was snappy. My head was definitely stressed about this particular game. And you're right, I don't want to speak to you like that. Here's the thing with this whole situation. I could have snapped. I could have been passive aggressive. I could have gone into a victim mode. I could have said anything from gaslighting and narcissistic and all these other things, all these other terms. But when you're empowered, you no longer feel like you don't have a say. When you're empowered, you express yourself in a way that you're at peace with what it is that you have to say. And you're at peace at the situation. You don't need to blame. And you don't need to find excuses. You just say your piece. I wasn't going to allow his negative energy to affect me because then I'm not empowered. Instead, I'm going to grab them pizza. I think they're both going to really appreciate this. Grab them some drinks, have a great ride home. That is a completely different way of communicating because now I've opened up, I've created that safe space again, and I brought it to him on a full stomach after the win of the hockey game, peacefully when we're by ourselves. And I spoke to him from my heart. This bothered me. I don't think that's who you want to be. I don't think that's who you are anymore. But this is what transpired, and I don't appreciate it. When you get upset because your partner has offended you or has spoken to you in a way that would offend you in front of your friends, or you feel embarrassed, or you feel like they're making an A of themselves, how do you deal with it? Do you call them out in front of their friends or in front of their peers? Do you, put on a pouty face and get upset? And I used to be passive aggressive. I used to pull away and be quiet, walk away and not talk to him. And I would give him the cold shoulder. And I could last for days and days. That's what I used to do. But that's not power. Power isn't trying to control somebody with your actions. Power is being good with you. It's being okay at where you are and being able to express yourself in a healthy way, in a healthy and safe environment, and in a loving way. And that's empowerment. So next time this happens, because they're going to, your partner is going to tick you off or say something you don't like, watch, acknowledge how you react, how you respond to it, and then think, what is my desired outcome? What do I want? Do I want them to realize that I don't like it, that it wasn't very nice, and I want them to apologize and maybe think about it next time so that they treat me better next time? Then you really have to think about how you speak to them. Because if you yell at them and give them the cold shoulder and think that that's how you're going to teach them, how can anybody respect that? If you're going to play mind games, how do you respect that? If you rise above, that's respect. They can respect somebody who speaks from their heart and genuinely in a loving way so that you actually want a better relationship. But pouting or stomping your feet, it's so hard to respect that. And I don't think we can ask people to respect that. So think about it. The next time you have a fight, take note of how you react, how you respond, and then move forward in a way of thinking, what is your desired outcome? And then take the steps to create that safe space, express yourself honestly, and see if that makes a difference. Talk to you soon.